Hello and welcome back to another edition of OpenAirAtheist. I am James Theodore Stillwell III, as usual. And thank you for joining me here in the bleakness of night to discuss the theistic problem of evil, which is the title of today's, or this night's, episode. Christian theists assert that God is limitless in power. He must be able to make whatever he wants to happen, happen. So this begs the question, why so much pointless suffrage? Why natural disasters? Even if suffering is a warning from God, then why no explanation when these disasters take place? Many theists state that evil isn't eternal or a creation of their God concept, but the God of the Bible just flat out contradicts them. Because in Isaiah 45:7, God says, I formed the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. And many modern Bible versions incorrectly translate the word evil in order to hide this fact. They translate it usually like calamity or disaster or something like that. Why is one child born in outright poverty and starvation while another in a mansion? The burden of evidence is on the theist to show that evil isn't a fatal flaw when asserting there is a perfectly good, all-knowing, and all-powerful God of love. Furthermore, even if humanity needs discipline, perhaps humanity could benefit from a type of divine boot camp. We don't need death camps. Why the Ebola virus, sickle cell anemia, AIDS, and cancers that eat people up alive? Why poisonous insects and snakes? Why does he allow 10% of the world to possess 90% of the wealth, while millions starve to death? Why create people with the potential for evil? Why? Why so much capitalistic greed, like major corporations taking out life insurance policies on their employees without them even knowing it, without even offering a dime for their funeral fund or for the livelihood of the family they leave behind? What about the children in third world countries who are so starved and weakened they can't even swat the flies from their faces, while thousands upon thousands of restaurants and supermarkets throw away innumerable amounts of perfectly good food in America? Why tornadoes? Why hurricanes? Why tsunamis? Why earthquakes? Why floods? Why erupting volcanoes? Why man-eating animals like lions and tigers and bears? Oh my. What about the countless wars, the Christian crusades, the rapes, the child molestations by Catholic priests and others, child abductions and murders, and countless other evils? What is your God? What is your God asleep at the wheel? I mean, seriously. God doesn't adequately comfort suffering. Thus, God would reasonably be considered way too harsh with us. Don't you really do you really expect me to believe all this is because Adam and Eve ate the wrong damn fruit? There is an absolute lack of evidence that the worst calamities befall only bad people, and our daily world shows us that good people can and do suffer horrendously, and in many cases more than the workers of iniquity. Furthermore, if God is all-knowing and unchanging, as he states in Malachi 3:6, as I have pointed out in other episodes, I am the Lord your God, I change not, therefore, O children of Israel, you are not consumed. Then why did he allow 6 million of Jewish people to be consumed by disease, starvation, and toxic gas in Nazi death camps? Well, I guess the God of the Bible does change his mind after all. And by the way, according to Calvinistic theology, He didn't merely allow them to die in death camps, he ordained it to happen. Furthermore, to direct your attention to another subject, why would the flourishing and languishing of sentient beings take place in theism? That's not what one would logically expect from theism. Many of us only have about a few decades of reasonably good health, and then the decline of old age creeps in. Countless other beings never flourish at all, and still many only flourish briefly. This doesn't comport with theism, and it would be surprising, but not with atheism, because with naturalism it would make sense. Evolution is way more likely on atheism, no matter how many theists embrace it. 99% of all species that have ever existed are all extinct, and for theism that would seem quite wasteful. But for atheism, it only makes perfect sense. Also, why is it that the overwhelming majority of the universe is so lethal to human life? It's estimated that 96% of the universe is made up of unsurvivable dark energy and dark matter. And according to many physicists, and you can check this out for yourself, the universe is more suitable for black holes than for life. In fact, there's lethal radiation everywhere and chaotic destruction of stars and planets. At the end of the day, after we have examined the totality of evidence in our naturalistic universe, we find that atheism, once again, is the best inference to be made, and that it's more likely than not that God does not exist. And who is it that we find addressing the problems of evil but human beings? While God doesn't even lift a single finger, a single non-existent finger, to help those in suffering. In the end, we find that people, just like you and me, who create cures and vaccines to address the problem of sickness and disease, it is people who put a stop to the death camps, and people who respond in the aid of those afflicted by natural disasters. And it is people who see it, who see to it that rapists, murderers, molesters, and abductors get exactly what they deserve. No God or gods or supernaturalistic forces, just people. No lake of fire burning forever, just people. So with that, I bid you adieu and ask you to stay tuned for further episodes, because I plan on making episodes until I die or have no way to post these videos anymore. And I will continue to refute myths and fiction with fact. So stay tuned for further episodes. I have some pretty big fish theistic fish I want to take down. And in the near future. So stay tuned for that, and don't die.